Hey there, everyone. I am doing another video when it comes to speaking. And like I said, this little series, I don't even know if it's a series, is you just watch it if you're bored. I'm in the live streaming studio, but I'm using my camera phone today. And I wanted to talk to you about creating goals as a speaker. And I wanted to show you one of the things that really helped me launch when I was launching my speaking career. Um, and I think this might be really helpful for you. So, for those of you who are tuning in, I am Felicia Jones. I'm the lead researcher and founder of iFind and I kind of do these little videos just to do them, just to talk all things speaking. But I think this may be a fun one for some of you who are trying to launch a speaking career or get back into the game of everything when it comes to speaking. So, I wanted to show you this. Hopefully, you can see it. I know the lighting isn't great, but this is a poster that I created in 2016. I'd been in business for probably a couple of years and I had done a little bit of speaking, but I decided to create goals, because I really didn't, I suck at creating goals, but I really wanted to create some goals about how to market my business. At the time, I was doing money coaching and things like that and running a program called Budget School. You can actually go check it out. It's budgetschool.co. It's all there. It's just a course. But I really needed help with the marketing. I wasn't a social media expert and I was failing on social media, but the couple of times I had gone out to speak, it had worked very well. So I figured that was one of the things I should put on my board. So what I did, and this is something you could probably do too. So if you take a poster board, hopefully you can hear me. And I know the camera is changing out. Good focus. And I put these 4 little bubbles in. I'll step over here. It was just 4 little bubbles on what I wanted to do. Like I wanted to do 24 webinars, 6 podcast interviews, 12 speaking engagements, and 6 guest blog posts. Some of these things happened. Some, didn't. But that's okay. We're not going to really focus on everything. And what I did, I call this my top 4. These are like the top 4 goals that I really wanted to achieve for 2016. And one of those was getting 12 speaking gigs. And obviously I was really good at this. Now, some of these things came years later, but I was actually pretty good at this thing right here. And I wanted to show you this board because what I did was I put this up on the wall. I put this up on the wall so that it just reminded me of what I was supposed to be doing. So if I ever go into my office and say, oh my gosh, what am I supposed to be doing today when it comes to marketing my business? It's like, all right, I need to do one of these things. Now, obviously, the speaking engagements were the things that really worked for me. And so what I did was every time, so I had here the 12 speaking engagements, but one of the things that I did was every time I went and got a gig, now I had to pitch more than 12 times, trust me. But every time I got a gig, I would write it in on this poster board. So it would be on the wall to kind of remind me that I was getting closer and closer to what I achieved. Now, at the end of this year, I actually had, I hit my goal. I hit 12 speaking engagements and I wrote them all down and I wrote the date of the gig and it was kind of cool. Yeah, that actually was a pretty cool. Now I'm kind of reminiscing over everything. But this was so helpful for me when it came to the goals. Now, I did write a couple of blog posts, and it wasn't so much that I had to hit them all at once, but it just helped me to kind of figure out what I needed to do. And these were the goals. And I have to tell you that, to be honest, the goal wasn't to actually speak. The goal was, the bigger goal was to keep moving the business forward, to keep marketing, to get 1,000 email subscribers. And these were the 4 things that I thought that I could control, that I could do to help with the marketing of me getting more of these gigs. So that's what I did with, with this board here. And for some of you who might be trying to figure out your goals, and what I did learn is from business coaches and some other programs I went to, that you have to kind of speak your goals out into the world. And this was a way of speaking the goals out into the world for me, was to write them down and not write them in a book that I would close. I literally got this poster board and I stuck it on the wall. And it just helped me to focus on what was supposed to happen. And what I did was, on the next year, I flipped it over and I did the same thing. And of course, if I achieved other little goals, I just wrote them down. So this year I had the top 4. It's always the top 4. Then I had like little bitty goals, like to get so many number of people into my course. One of my bigger goals was to speak at an event, the number of email subscribers. I have my revenue goals, everything. But it's so funny. I have on here to do 4 local television guest spots. Now, that didn't come in 2017. I actually got the first television spot in 2018. And then, of course, I was on TV all of last year. So that was kind of cool. For those of you who don't know, I was the money expert on Daily Blast Live. So I did that starting last year into this year. So that was really, really cool, going on and answering financial questions. And the first TV spot was, they brought me in for Christmas on the news, the local news, just to talk about Christmas budgeting, holiday budgeting, and things like that. But no, these were my 4 goals for 2017. It was 16 speaking gigs. So I upped the ante with the speaking gigs, and I went for 16 this year. And I had the podcast interviews. I actually got quite a few podcast interviews. A lot of this stuff didn't really, I didn't hit all of these goals in 2017. A lot of these things came in 2018. But it worked out very well. And this was kind of cool, just being able to actually see the goals. So for those of you who are marketing a business and you're using speaking as a part of it, this might be kind of helpful for you to actually go buy a plain, cheap, white poster board. I think I got this from, I don't know, maybe Walmart or something like that. I drew the circles and I put what my top 4 were. And when it came to the speaking gigs, I got very specific with the size of audience that I wanted to be in front of. And I see that I have 10. I know for a fact that I had more than 16. I definitely had more than 16. I think towards the end of the year, I stopped writing everything down, but it was kind of cool. It was, I actually have my word of the year up here as well, but it was kind of cool being able to sit down and put this on a poster board. Now, unfortunately, I didn't do this for the next year. I didn't do it for the next year. I had some personal things that I had to deal with in 2018. So it kind of railroaded all of the goals that I had, but, I have found this to be like one of the best ways for me, at least for me, to do goals. Now, especially when it came to speaking, because it was on the wall and I can write in every time, and and what I did the year before was I would write down events that I wanted to speak at. And so all of these things are here on the side. I would put down prospect events, and then as I got them, I would cross them off, and then excuse me. But once I did them, I actually put them in the bubble. So that's kind of how this worked. Once I got the gig, everything was in the bubble. So it was just kind of a nice little brainstorming board. And, and I really enjoyed this. I don't know why. Maybe I need to go back to doing this. I haven't done this. I think 2017 was the last time I actually did this. No, I actually tried to do this in 2018. I tried to get like all high tech and do it small. But doing like on a sheet of paper, large sheet of paper, no. I have found using a poster board is probably the most effective so that you can see it. Because here's the thing. We're going to be in the fall of 2020 very soon. And a lot of live events, they're looking for speakers now for next fall and even into 2022. So if you have these goals to get on stage, I have learned you have to work so early. You have to be prepared, and you have to have these goals early. What a lot of people will do is they will wake up in the middle of 2021 or it's November 2021 and say, hey, I want at least 20 gigs before the end of this year. It's like, yeah, it doesn't really work that way. You really do have to start on these things early, really, really early. And what I have found is what I usually tell people when it comes to speaking, if this is something that you want to do, if it's something that you definitely want to use in a way to market your business, give it a good solid 2 years, and you're going to have to work really hard to get in front of people. But the cool thing is that all of this work, all of these goals, you know, doing these poster boards, having all these things when it comes to speaking, the more of this that you do, the more you put your name out there, the more people get to know you, and then you will start being invited to speak. And that was one of the things that really happened for me was, gosh, the years. I mean, we're talking about years. 2015, I didn't have goals because I didn't really know I wanted to speak. But I did. I mean, I still went around and looked for gigs, asked people for gigs. You know, I did all the things when it came to gigs. This was probably 2016 was the first year I actually, all right, I'm going to sit down here and make some goals around it. But all of that work really did pay off when it came to getting gigs later on and being invited, landing the paid speaking gigs and things like that. But I know a lot of people think I can just wake up and I can become a speaker. Technically you can, but it does require a lot of effort on your part outside of just having a good talk and nice visuals and everything like that. It really does come down to a lot of the work. So even on my board with the 12 speaking engagements, trust me, I pitched way more than 12. And with the 16, it felt like you have to go and talk to like 40 people before I even got the 16. But it was really cool just to see the goals in action. So if this is something that you think would work, I highly recommend it. Get a poster board, call it your top 4, and you just go for it. Put down the number of gigs that you know you want to get, and let's do it. And of course, you know, us over at iFind You Close, we would love to help you. You know, I literally did create iFind You Close to help solve this issue that I was having of having to work so hard and researching and finding gigs. And that's one of the things that I really wanted to bring to all of the members of iFind You Close, that I want to be able to help you with the research part so that you can get even more gigs and you can pitch a lot faster than taking the 4 hours just to find one. And it can be very challenging. And plus, we have so much going on right now with not really having a lot of live events on hand. The researching is even tougher at the moment. So that's one of the things that we really want to do over iFind You Close, is just to help you out so that you can get on more stages, because I would love to see your bubble be really, really big. Really, really big. So thank you for watching. Of course, if you got any questions or comments, just let me know. Hopefully this was useful. If you try this out, let me know. Let me know how this works, and decorate your board. You know, I tried decorating with little flowers, but that was the effort of my decorating. So thank you for watching. Until next time. Bye.